Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lisa Cato and I am the owner of Crafty Door Creations. In today's video, we are going to be painting a beautiful galaxy scene with acrylics, and it's perfect for beginners. If you've never painted before, don't worry. I'll lead you through each step, step by step. Okay, so let's grab our paints and our brushes and let's get started. Now, my videos, I may not be uploading new videos until later next week because I'm starting some kids camps right here in my art studio. So I won't really be able to do that. But don't worry, I will get some videos out to you probably middle of the week or so. Okay. All right. So I'm going to be changing the camera angle so that you'll be able to see everything that I'm doing while I'm doing it overhead. Okay. So meet me there. All right. Now we are back. So what I'm going to go over right now is I'm going to go over the materials that you will need to start this project. So what you will need is a canvas or a canvas paper, either one. If you don't want to spend money on a canvas, then you can use canvas paper. Or also you will need some acrylic paints. So I've got several acrylic paints and different colors, and I'll show you what my colors that I'm going to be using are. All right, so I have got these that I'm going to be using. Okay, now you can use any brand that you would like. Okay, I'm going to be using black. That's one that I'm going to use. I'm going to be using these are all by Deco Art paints, and I will put the link to where you can get that in the description. Now, I'm not an affiliate, not yet anyway, maybe someday, but right now I'm just not. But I love using, they're one of my favorite paints to use. You don't have to use Deco Art, you can use any brand that you would like. So I'm using, the colors are Ultra Blue Deep. I've got Strawberry is a pretty pink, a Magenta, dioxinine Purple, Moon Yellow, and Teal Mint. Okay, so I'm going to get those off of here. All right, now another great thing, you might want to check out the video that I did. I'll link it up in the cards for you to watch later. It's about, I had a video that I did about supplies that you actually will use when you're starting to paint. All right, so here are the brushes that I'm going to be using for this. I'm going to be using a flat brush, a flat tip brush. This is about a 1-inch flat. I'm going to be using a round brush. Now this round brush, it's a medium round. I think it is probably about a number 8. I'm not sure. Okay. And then I don't think, let's see. And an old toothbrush. Okay. This is just an old toothbrush that I use for painting. And I'm not sure, I might use a palette knife, but this is just a very inexpensive palette knife. I think I got this set, plastic palette knives, on Amazon, and I'll also link that on there. All right, also you will need a cup of water to be able to rinse your brushes. Okay, so I've just got a jar that I use to rinse my brushes out. Okay, now I am also using, first thing we're going to do is we're going to paint our canvas with this black paint. Now I'm also going to use a chip brush. Now you can find these chip brushes at any hobby store. You can find them at like Michael's, Hobby Lobby. You can even get them at a hardware store. They're just, this is a 2-inch wide paint chip brush. You can get them at like Harbor Freight or anywhere like that. Okay, so this is just going to help me get the paint on this canvas, and it's going to help me get it on here quickly. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to just take my paint, and I'm not even going to worry about putting it on my palette, not putting on my, oh, that's the other thing, a palette, which is just, I'm just using a paper plate. Okay, I'm just going to squirt it right on here. Okay, just going to squirt it on and then quickly go over my canvas with this. Okay, this is a good way to get paint on quickly, is by using a chip brush. And if you need to get a little water on your brush, that'll help spread the paint a little bit better. But right now I'm just trying to quickly do this. Acrylic paints dry so quickly. So I'm going to go ahead and go back and just smooth that out. I get a little bit of water, get this paint kind of, get it to smooth out so I can get pretty good coverage. You want everything, you want all those little white pieces in the canvas, you want all of that to be covered. You don't want to see any white on your canvas at all. So make sure you really get down in there in those little, get down into the that canvas material. Get down in there really good. I'm seeing a bristle. There's a bristle right there. Okay, I might need to get me another baby wipe. Okay, I think that's about it. Okay, I think that's about it. I'm just going to kind of wipe off some of this stuff. All right, I'm going to put my brush in water. Okay, now I'm going to dry this real quick so we can get on with the next step. I like this little handy tool. It really helps move things along. If you want to get something dried really quick that you're working on, so you can go on to the next step, this little heat tool really does a good job. Much better than a blow dryer, because sometimes blow dryers will just, for one thing, they're really noisy. That's one thing. And then the other thing is that they just kind of blows a lot of air all over the place, and this doesn't do that. So I'll also put the link to where I got this in the description. I got this off of Amazon, so I can put that link right there in the description. Getting very close for it all being dry. Okay, I think that's about dry. All right, now then, we've got our base color done. All right, the next thing we're going to do, we're going to start building the galaxy up. This is the fun part. We're going to create a nebula swirl. Okay, so I'm going to start putting some paints on my palette. I'm going to start with blue, some purple, and get some magenta. I get some, this is a teal, it's called teal mint. I'm going to get this pink. Okay, let me just get this open. Okay. All right, and make sure, since this is a new one, I haven't really used it very much, make sure I get this really shook up real good. Because if you don't shake these paints up real good, they can, when you pour them out, they can be really watery. Okay, there we go. All right, so we're going to start with a dry brush. Okay, so we're going to start with the blue. Okay, and then we're going to kind of go in a swirl. We're going to start swirling with our blue. Okay, see how I'm going in a circular pattern. All right, then while this is still wet, we're going to add, and I don't even have to rinse my brush either. We're going to add a purple. Ooh, look how pretty that is. We're going to add a purple. Okay. Oops, there's a little glob there. Okay. Need to get a baby wipe for those things. Okay. I'm going to add in this purple and this sweeping motion right here. When the paint is wet, it really helps to be able to blend those colors in. If they already dry, they don't blend very well. Now you don't want to over blend because you don't want to get your colors all muddy, but you know, blend it good enough so that it's going to, you can see those different colors in there. Now I've got another glob here. Sometimes these paints get globby, so if you get a glob, just get it out with a baby wipe. Okay. All right. Let's see. Get a little bit more right here in this circle, in this center. So kind of sweep your brush. You might want to get more blue if you want to. Grab more blue and a little bit of purple. Okay. All right. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now we're going to start in with our pink. Okay. I'm going to start in doing some pink. Ooh, look at that. I love that. You notice I'm not even rinsing my brush out. Don't really need to do that. Okay. Might put a little bit more blue right over in here. Just add color as you like. This is something that is just so freeing. You're just adding color anywhere you feel like, but you're going in this circular motion, okay? All right, so you're thinking of clouds in space, okay? So we're just kind of doing this in a light circular motion. Okay, now we're going to darken the outer edges with some black and some of this blue, okay? That's going to add some depth and some contrast. So, and can even mix in a little bit of white with the magenta. We'll have some brighter highlights in the center. So first of all, we're going to go in with our black and our blue, okay? All right, so just the outside, whoops, kind of the outside edges. Going to give it some depth. Outside edges. It's going to give it some depth, okay? With this black and this blue. Okay, now then I'm going to rinse my brush because we're going to add a little bit of white into the magenta. Clean my brush off real good. Okay, so we're going to add a little bit of this white. See, I'm adding white to the magenta. To make some brighter highlights in the center. Okay, so just some brighter highlights right in the center. Okay. Just mainly highlights in the center. Okay. All right. Okay, now I'm gonna rinse my brush out again. Okay, so we're going to start adding in some stars. Okay, so this is how we're gonna add stars in. We're gonna get our toothbrush. Okay, we're gonna get our toothbrush and we're gonna dip it into some water. And I know it's black, but that's okay. It still will do fine. I'm gonna add a little bit more white to my palette here. And then, okay, so water on your toothbrush, and then we're going to add that toothbrush into our white paint, just like that. And I know, yeah, the water is dirty, but that's okay. It will turn out fine. Now, we're going to just kind of flick this all the way around. It's going to get messy, but that's okay. We'll have fun. Okay, so I'm going to flick this. We're flicking this all the way around. This is making our stars all the way around her. So it really looks like a galaxy. Okay? Okay. All right. Okay. There we go. Yeah, I need to get a baby wipe. If you have baby wipes, they're great. Just get some regular unscented baby wipes, and anytime you have a mess, like on anything that you need to wipe off, that will do it. Okay. Now, okay, I'm going to dry this real quick, and I'm also going to make some other stars, maybe some starburst on our galaxy. I want to get this really dried real quick because we don't want to mess up this pretty galaxy that we did. Okay, now, I know I said at the beginning, you know what, I did not even use any of the teal. You know, I didn't. I did not. It's one thing I didn't use. Huh. Well, I don't know. I wonder how it, should I leave it like this or should I add some teal in? You know what? It doesn't matter. I don't think I will. But if you wanted to add teal to, you know, you could use different colors. You could even, this is a pretty yellow, this moon yellow. You could add things like that, different colors like that. I'm not sure if I'll use this to be a star or what. I don't know. Okay, let me see. Maybe I'll use this other kind of yellow. Okay. All right, I know I said a medium round brush, but I think I'm going to use this little detail brush, okay? All right, these are always really good to have, these little detail brushes. All right, so I'm going to do a starburst. Okay, so it's pretty easy to do that. You just basically, you make an X or plus sign and then do like that. You might want to make it a little bit longer, one end. Okay, and if you want to add white to it, that would be okay, that would be good. Okay, so we've got that. Let's see, I'm going to get some more white here. Here's a white one, we can do one up here. And these don't have to be perfect. They're fine if they're not perfect. Just do some little starburst up here. Okay. Not so sure I like that starburst in yellow, but anyway. Okay. All right, so you can just put a few like that in your painting. Another thing that you can add to your, which really makes a big, it really looks really great on your on something like this, is this glitter. This is by Folk Art. This is glitterific, and let me see. I think I got. May actually have to dig it out with my brush. It's kind of thick. Got to get my paintbrush and kind of dig it out because it is kind of thick here. Okay, so you can either use your fingers to paint this stuff on. This is just kind of glitter. This is glitter paint, and you can just use your fingers, kind of like finger painting. Now, one thing you do need to remember when you're using some glitter paint, you need to make sure that your project is dry, because if you don't, when you add the glitter, then it's going to mess it up. So if you don't want your project messed up, you need to make sure that it's dry before you start putting the glitter on. I think it really makes it look really, really neat. Really gives it that galaxy effect. It's when you put this glitter paint on here. Now I'm going to watch out for my stars right here because I'm not sure, they may not be dry, so I'm not going to put any glitter paint on them right now. This has actually got little pieces of glitter in it, so it's really very cool. A very cool thing to add, and it's fun too. It's fun to add this. Just getting your finger in there, getting messy. Might need to dig some more out. Let me get a dryer, and I'm going to dry these starbursts that I did, because I'm going to put some glitter on these, but I want to make sure that they're dry, because it will mess it up if you try to put the glitter paint on here. It'll get it all smudged up, and I don't want that. So I'm going to dry these. All right. Okay. All right. And add some of this. I think this project would also be very very fun for kids to do. In fact, I have one of my themes for the week. One of the weeks is space. So I'm actually thinking that we might do this. Yeah, I think that we're going to do this when I have my kids camp. I think that we're going to do this. And you know what? And kids, kids they love to get their hands in stuff. Now, grown-ups sometimes don't. They don't always want to get their hands dirty and get into paint like this, but kids love it. So, yeah, I think this would be a very fun thing. Something fun that you could do as a parent. You could do this with your kids, because you it's very easy, just swirling. Basically, you're just swirling colors around and making little starbursts. And so, yeah, I think this would be a very fun project for parents to do with their kids. All right, let's see. So if you wanted to add different things, you could add different things to your galaxy. You could add planets. Um, you could add all kinds of things, whatever you want to add with this. And that's it, your very own beautiful galaxy painting. All right, so I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you would like to see more beginner videos like this one, just subscribe and also give me a big thumbs up. It really helps my channel. And also hit the bell notification. That way you'll always know when I'm going to be uploading another video. All right, so okay, so I guess until the next time, bye.